The first piece of news we're going to be looking at is out of the guys at Paizo. Now, Pathfinder is an amazing role-playing game that everybody absolutely loves.
Yes.
They're coming to bring their second edition out this year as part of the Pathfinder playtest rulebook, which is pretty awesome. So they've been doing loads of stuff over the last however many years, sort of tweaking and changing the game as it goes along, but this is the year where you get to have your real input into everything. So what's going to happen is throughout this year, you're going to be able to take part in the Pathfinder playtest. You can either buy it as a physical product, which will go up for pre-order very, very soon, or you can get the free downloads later on in the year, and you'll be able to get into the game, play through from level 1 all the way up to level 20, and basically feedback on everything you find out mechanically and thematically and everything like that, and then they'll maybe take this forward into their future products for second edition, and then you'll have had an input in everything going forward. So you'll be an adventurer doing loads of cool stuff for everybody, both in their side and of course when you're down on the table playing with your friends as well.
I love this. I love this. More and more we're seeing, this is the year of the community beta test.
Yeah.
2018 is the year where we together are going to create a new what would we call it, career path, okay, for professional testers, professional beta testers.
This is the thing. I think the gaming world at the moment is actually moving away from professionally paid testers, and you saw that shift first of all in video games with Steam as open access games.
Yeah, all the early access games.
Yeah, early access games with people beta testing and giving the feedback there, and now we're seeing that in board games a lot more, where they're throwing it open to the community, and I love that.
I don't think there were many professional paid game testers in the board game industry. Like certainly within miniature gaming, they were paid in plastic, possibly.
Or they were doing it for the love of the project.
Oh no, come on! Everybody was doing it for the love of the project.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there was any payment, it might have been pizza, beer, pretzels, and plastic.
These are all legally accepted tender, by the way.
All legally accepted tender. Oh God! Right, okay.
Look, have you seen the exchange rate on pizza? It's amazing.
Well, it's certainly better than the exchange rate on the pound. So it's
and even more so on Northern Irish fivers.
Yeah, or the krona.
But what I'm wondering is with all of these beta tests, because we saw a great playtesting thing done by Wizards of the Coast. More recently, we've seen God Tier from the guys at Steamforged.
Yep, they actually created a pack that you can buy and jump in on and get some exclusive stuff with.
If you want to see the unboxing of that, check out last week's weekend.
Yeah, it's so seeing Pathfinder go down this route, I think it's great. I think it's just a fabulous way to bring your community along for the journey. But the cynical side, you could say, well, it's also a way to sell stuff during a play test.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the big things with this is that, as I say, you can buy stuff during this playtest period that's going to be out in print. It'll never be reprinted, so if you do want to get it, you need to go into the pre-order period of, I think it's between March 20th and May 1st. But saying that, there are going to be free downloads available for everybody with just the rulebook as well as the adventure book and some map tiles as well if you're interested in that sort of things. But the big thing for me on this, the sort of going back to that point about testing and the sort of role-playing side of things, is that there's no more dedicated potentially group of fans than those that get into their role-playing side of things. Because you have to know pretty much everything about the rulebook. You have to know everything about how characters work and the mechanics, especially as a dungeon master or a games master as well. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to feed back to someone as a company and say, well, this is what I do like, this is what I don't like, this is what I feel could be modular and stuff like that. So,
well, God, what I would give to take a month off work just to play test.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing we see as well, is role-playing is one of the few genres within our industry where you will find someone will spend years and years in a single system. Wargaming, people are jumping game to game to game. Wargaming, people are jumping game to game to game. Role-playing, you will find the world you love to play in, and you will live in that world.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of people that will experiment.
I think it's a bit like with wargaming, where they will usually have their one preferred system, but they will also branch out into things.
I think the difference is it's maybe a little more difficult to have casual two ships in the night kind of role-playing experiences. You need you need a more dedicated group to really get
Yeah.
the best out of role playing. At least in my opinion, and that's why whenever I look at I would love to do some Star Wars role playing. Even D&D.
I want to get back into Call of Cthulhu. I miss it.
But
that and Paranoia.
World of Darkness for me.
But this is why World of Darkness is a great one.
Absolutely love
it.
All right, you're gonna love it when you meet Chris from Dark Days Radio.
I know. I've been chatting with him about it.
But this is why I say I feel like I would need a month off. I would love to just take a month out of my life to just get a month of solid role playing, just to because I think it's one of those things that the dipping in and out of it, just with everything else that goes on with life. It's I don't know.
It's something that needs a bit of dedication. Yeah, definitely.
Funnily enough, I just remember one of my first ever D&D experiences was playing with you guys back in the old Coleraine studio.
Yes, yeah.
Is this the Hawaii 5-0?
Yeah, this was the Hawaii 5-0.
Sharkarosaurus, baby.
Where I borrowed a gnome sword mage. We walk into a room full of bad guys. Warren playing Sharkarosaurus, and his immediate tactic is throw the gnome.
Yes, it was a very well considered tactic. The Sharkarosaurus is probably my crowning glory as an RPG character, because having a dude that whenever hits the fan, starts to hear the opening intro to Hawaii 5-0 before turning into a groovy shark that just spins and dances his way out of trouble. I know for the rest of my gaming group it might be a little unrealistic, but come.
Warren, unrealistic. I'm just hearing like tiger.
Okay. I like to stretch it. I must try. The other obvious way to get into RPGs, and certainly a great way for you guys to get into this beta test with Pathfinder, is it's not so easy for us all to meet up these days. So there are lots of cool ways that you can do role playing online now.
Yes.
Ben, have you had a go at a couple of the online kind of systems for role playing?
Yeah, me, Lance, and a couple of friends went through and played using Roll20, which is an amazing system. It's got a really nice setup to it, very, very easy and simple to use as well. There's also lots of plenty of resources online for people that want to go and just do it through other systems. So I think that people use Tabletopia as well, and Tabletop Simulator too. So if you like those, they're on Steam. You can go and get a hang on those as well. You can also pick up a whole bunch of online resources too. There's loads of people that do maps and battle maps and little tiny digital figures that you can use and things too. And then the guys at Wizards of the Coast have worked with a company to create D&D Beyond as well, which allows you to have all your character sheets and stuff online. So you can have basically everything you need for a role-playing session just in front of you on your screen, and you can just take it wherever you want to go then as well. So even if you're away from your friends for a while, you can hop in via Skype or something and play games together, get stuck into some D&D. It's really good, and it doesn't lessen the experience in a lot of ways for me anyway, because I'm still having the same kind of fun, still having the same kind of interactions, even over the internet. So
Well, what I want to know on take Roll20 for example. Does it handle all of the audio and video or whatever, or do you need something like Discord or something like that to handle all of that?
We used Discord for that, but you could use the likes of Skype as well if you just wanted to do a conference calling together. So,
some friends and I had a fairly good number of sessions of the Dresden Files RPG just over Skype, not using any other systems, just Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it's one of the interesting things, because as long as you've got some way of rolling dice in some way, be it via an app or something like that, especially if you're going to go down the route of it being more mind's eye than it being tactical, then it doesn't necessarily mean that you need an online resource to do that. So, as Sam says, Skype, and just use your imagination.
Does Roll20 handle all the dice rolling and stuff like that, though?
Yeah, it handles all the dice rolling. It sets up the scenes for you, so as I say, you can see battle maps and enemies and where they are on the tabletop, and you can look at the scenes and stuff as well that the GM has put forward for you as well. Yeah.
I actually was invited to join an online Pathfinder role-playing group. I actually did turn them down, unfortunately, just because I know with work things are really crazy in here sometimes, so I didn't think I could commit to it, so I didn't actually want to let people down.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe get Rue into that.
Yeah, Rue's got his place.
Oh, yeah, Rue's camped outside outside an establishment in what is it, Golden Shower is called, isn't it? So World of Warcrafting away there. But anyway, if you're interested,
platform that actually handles the rolling for you and actually can bring up things on the screen that you can read off as the story.
What platform's that?
Wow, World of Warcraft.
It'll do dice rolling as well, yeah?
It does all your dice rolling. And you can actually have notifications come up middle of the screen to all of your group members to actually have them read off what's happening in the story.
I just now have a picture of a bunch of character avatars meeting in a tavern so that the players can play Pathfinder through them.
Oh, so that would be fun.
You're role-playing your character's role-playing.
That's awesome.
Fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break.
That would
That's
be
like
very
16
weird.
walls.
If actually, I'm interested in hearing from you. If you're into your role playing and have experience of using the likes of Roll20 and whatnot, one of the difficulties I have is, and I would kind of need to get over it, is I sometimes would feel a sense of guilt role playing around the internet with people, and then not including my other half, Andrea. Andrea would be sitting having to keep an eye on the kids and stuff like that there. But I'm going to have to get over that. I'm going to have to feel less guilty. Yeah, it's International Women's Day. She can stand up for herself, So it's like,
there was one very interesting news story I saw recently. There is a D&D campaign in America that has been running for 35 years solid.
Really?
Same concurrent story. People flying from all across the world to play with this fella, this DM.
Yeah.
And if someone can't make it, he actually has a couple of Skype screens set up around his place to actually let them interact and still play with people.
You see, I've been reading in our comments actually on the role playing side of things about the kind of the curse of the DM, where he spends months and months researching and going into extraordinary depth on this world that he's created, only for his characters to just basically skip through it. And have you been there, done that? Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
definitely.
I would like to learn more about role playing. So,
your best DMs are excellent at doing ad lib.
Well, I know a couple of DMs out there. Dave Hawes, one of our community members, has been researching Star Wars, and I know that Saigeis, another one of our community members, is big into his Star Wars and his role playing. He's also big into Pathfinder, because he sent us a box that we never did open.
Wait, what?
Right behind you there, yeah, the base set of the cards. Sorry, Saigeis, we'll blow the dust off that now. So it's if
right
you
when
guys,
the second edition is in play,
and anybody else, I would like to facilitate, maybe setting up a few kind of RPGs or RPG groups, okay? We could maybe do it via the forums, okay? And we'll try and help and advise with Roll20 Discord and stuff like that. So if you're not au fait on the technology, don't worry, because I will get these guys to make videos about how to use the technology.
Yeah, sounds
okay.
Good.
And maybe some of us can try and join in.
I'd love to.
It would have to probably be as kind of like special guest characters and things like that, because I would say it'd be difficult for us to commit to long campaigns. But if I can connect you guys together, we'd be very interested in seeing that come to life and facilitating and trying to help.
There's a very simple way to do that if you have someone who drops in and out, or if you want to actually have a guest slot character.
Yeah.
You just have the character be possessed by a demon.
And
so every week a new person comes in, it's a new demon possessing the
There's
the
an
host.
option.
Or
There's an option.
Or just have an NPC ready to hand.
So if there's a group that you would like to do D&D, that's great. If there's a group that would actually like to be almost like the Beasts of War beta testers of Pathfinder, that could be cool. If there's a Star Wars group, hit me up.
If there's a Call of Cthulhu group, give me a shout.
And
if there's a World of Darkness group, leave me alone. It would be awesome, actually.
Yeah, I'll get a post in the forums. It'll be over. Come on over to beastofwar.com. You maybe have experience. You maybe don't want to play with this, but you maybe have experience. You can come in and put your experience into the forums. Maybe you are looking to get a game. and whatever your skill level, don't worry. Let's all get in there, and we'll flesh it all out, and then we'll open up. We'll find a way to make this happen, because there was one of the great RPGs ran on Beasts of War about a year ago, and it was our historical editor Oriskany ran an online RPG with him and some guests, where they were it was set in the Cold War. I'm pretty sure it was set in the Cold War, and they were a tank group trying to escape something. I think that was basically it. I can't remember the exact details of it.
And when did the werewolves come in?
Oh, there was no werewolves in it, man. There could have been.
What about the zombies?
There was no zombies in it either.
Oh,
it was, but it was really, really good. We were watching them all participate. And a lot of the guys that were in it were tankers, or at least ex-military. There was a lot of military guys in that. So there was a mix of guys in there who really knew their stuff, and guys in there who maybe didn't know as much, but just really wanted to enjoy the experience of it. And they got on like a house on fire, and it was really well done. I think it was managed through the forums, and it all built up, and he did graphics and stuff like that for it as well.
Pretty cool.
So if anybody fancies setting up a historical RPG, that could be cool as well. I just think it's a great opportunity for us to see them going. And if we have all these guys RPGing, right? Anytime we want to get a game, we just say roll us up a weird character or a demon.
Milton the Malkavian will ride again.
And then we can get in. And if everybody's using the same setup, that makes it easy for us to get all sorts of games.
Although I tell you what, Warren, there's one that we wanted to do that we forgot about. Which was the Fantasy Flight Apocalypse series.
We totally need to do that. Where you Fantasy Flight do a great RPG series where it's a whole series of apocalypse scenarios.
Zombies, alien apocalypse,
aliens,
apocalypse,
AI.
It's
really
role
cool.
play yourself.
Yeah, I know.
It's
awesome.
That is one I would love to try, because it would be interesting seeing how we would do in the zombie apocalypse in our gas-powered ice cream van.
Yes, we would do it. You would have both of us. Both of us. So
I'd be pushing the van.
Yeah, let's.
Okay, so now it's the sand power. Do we just get like a little hamster wheel in the front?
Yeah, a little hamster wheel will do.